Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in EDH. Today we're looking at Dogmeat Ever Loyal. Dogmeat is a 3-mana Naya commander, and he says, when Dogmeat enters, mill 5, then return an aura or equipment from your graveyard to your hand, and whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, create a junk token, which is an artifact that you can tap and sacrifice to impulse draw the top of your deck. So obviously different directions you can take Dogmeat. I opted to go for a Voltron route where we're going to attempt to get as much auras and equipment cards onto Dogmeat as possible and kill our opponents through commander damage. The main obstacle here was getting a sufficient number of auras and equipment into the deck that when you mill 5, you're always going to hit something. So if we take a look at the count, we have 14 equipment and 13 auras for a total of 27 between the two of them. So that adds up to a little less than a third of our deck. So if we come over here and we look at how this maths out, if we've got a 99 card deck, 27 potential hits in the deck, and we're going to see 5 cards, what are the odds that we get at least one of them? They are 80%. So 1 out of 5 times we will brick, but other than that, we will hit a card at least once every 4 out of 5 times. So with that said, we have access to various effects here. So we've got things like All That Glitters, Idolized as ways of pumping Dogmeat. Strong Back is another pretty good one. Equip abilities you activate that target enchanted creature cost 3 less. Aura spells that target the enchanted creature cost 3 less, and it gets +2 for each aura and equipment attached to it. We also have Mantle of the Ancients. Obviously, we're milling cards, and we're only getting 1 aura and equipment back, so if we mill multiple auras and equipment, we want ways of generating them all back from the graveyard onto Dogmeat, so this is a way to do that. And it happens to pump our guys. And then a number of other pretty good cards like Bear Umbra and Breath of Fury as a way to go infinite combat if we can generate an additional token every single turn to put the Breath of Fury onto. Like every combat step, another token appears, Breath of Fury moves to it, we keep taking infinite combats. We've also got things like Gift of Immortality to get Dogmeat back if it gets killed. And then just a number of other auras that happen to do other things like Kenrith Transformation, Song of the Dryads, or Utopian Sprawl and Wild Growth, and Fertile Ground is just extra hits. And then here we've got Strength of the Harvest as one of our lands that also happens to be an aura, so we can get this back as well. And then if we take a look at our equipment, it kind of breaks down similarly. We've got straight up pumping with things like Blackblade Reforged. We've got protection and things like Champion's Helm to give hexproof, Colossus Hammer for more pumping, Conqueror's Flail for protection, Excalibur for pumping, Hexblade Wallbreaker as an equipment that can get extra combat steps, which we're very interested in, etc., etc. With some of the big standouts being things like Robe of the Stars as a way that we can phase out Dogmeat to completely protect it from any sort of sweeping or other ways that would kill it. Now, if we get off of just auras and equipment, we can see the breakdown of cards by the specific category that they're in. So here's all of our beatdown cards. Then we've got our card draw. So some cards to highlight here are Pure Steel Paladin, which when equipment enters, you draw. And then importantly, the Metalcraft ability to equip for free. Armory Paladin, whenever you cast an aura or equipment, exile the top of your library and you may play it until the end of your next turn. SRAM draws off of auras and equipment. Scythis draws off of enchantments. We've got our cheat spells. So these are mostly things that allow us to equip without having to pay equip costs. So these are cards like Arden, Codsworth, Forge Anew, Inventory Management, Pure Steel, Sigarda's Aid, and then we've got Stoneforge to go grab equipment that we want. We have our combo cards, so this is a little difficult to explain, but let me break it down. So as previously mentioned, Breath of Fury, which as long as we can keep generating a creature every combat, allows us to take infinite combats. We have Ginny Fey, which if you would create a token, you can create a 2/2 with haste or a 3/1 with vigilance instead. Mana Matrix, pay up to 2 less than required whenever you cast an instant or enchantment. Meticulous Excavation to bounce things back to our hand for 3 mana, Phyrexian Altar to sack stuff, and Semblance Anvil to make a specific card that we imprint with it. All cards of that type cost 2 less. So combo number 1 is we need our commander, Dogmeat, we need Gift of Immortality, we need Phyrexian Altar, and we need Mana Matrix. So we have all of these permanents in play with Dogmeat has Gift of Immortality attached to it. So we activate Phyrexian Altar and we sacrifice Dogmeat, which adds a white to our pool. Then Dogmeat dies, which triggers the Gift of Immortality, which returns Dogmeat from the graveyard to the battlefield. When Dogmeat enters, it gets its trigger, which we mill 5 cards, and then we return Gift of Immortality to our hand. Then we get to cast Gift of Immortality for just a single white mana because we've got the white mana from Phyrexian Altar, and Mana Matrix is causing this to cost 2 less. And then we can repeat this step infinitely to get infinite amounts of this. So the result is that we get infinite ETBs, infinite deaths, infinite sacrifice. We mill our entire deck as many times as we want to do this loop. and we have an infinite storm count since we're recasting Gift of Immortality. And obviously, aside from Mana Matrix, we can swap Mana Matrix for Semblance Anvil as long as we have a enchantment imprinted to this. Then the second combo is Dogmeat plus Breath of Fury plus Ginny Fae. So we need Breath of Fury attached to some other creature besides Dogmeat, and we need that creature to be able to hit our opponent. So we attack. Now Dogmeat's second ability triggers, remember, whenever a creature you control that's enchanted or equipped attacks, you create a junk token with Dogmeat. So Ginny Fae then replaces that junk token with a creature. The Breath of Fury triggers. So we sack the creature that it's attached to, and now we attach this to the cat or dog token that we have created, but mainly the cat token, because the cat token will have haste. We need it to have haste. We can then attack with that cat token. The Breath of Fury will trigger again. We keep looping. We get infinite combats. Now, are these combos that good? No. They're kind of clunky. They require a lot of setup and a lot of different moving parts, but these are some things that you can set up. It's also a little awkward that these combos do not involve Dogmeat. So while Dogmeat can get Gift of Immortality and Breath of Fury back, all of the other cards are things that Dogmeat does not get back off of its mill ability. And especially Mana Matrix costing 6 is pretty rough. Moving on from there, we have a pretty straightforward Naya mana base, not much to see here other than the aforementioned Strength of the Harvest. We have our protection, so obviously we want Dogmeat to not get countered or killed by removal, so we've already seen many of the equipment and auras that help with this, but we also have cards like Destiny Spinner, Cutzel, etc. Whole bunch of ramp. We want to get this stuff going as quickly as possible. We have our removal, which includes Song of the Dryads, Kenriths, and Argenum Armor. A little bit of stacks, not too much, so mainly just High Noon here as a way of rule of lawing the field. And then we've got some tutors to go grab specific auras and equipment if we want to go grab those, so Stoneforge, Kellen, and Enlightened Tutor. Then there were a whole bunch of other cards I considered, so these were various like equipment or auras that I thought might be useful, or other cards that triggered off of enchantment or that protected Dogmeat, some additional ramp spells that I ultimately decided not to play. There's a whole bunch of these. You can take a look at these in the considerations tab if you follow the Moxfield link and decide whether you want to run these cards or not. I ultimately decided that they were either redundant or less efficient than things we were already playing, so opted not to run them, but you can mix and match as needed. And one of the big spots in the deck that I think might need shoring up is the stacks package. Since we're mainly involved in Voltroning Dogmeat, we might want to run some more rule of laws like Archon of Emeria, but I'm not sure. But anyways, with all that being said, that is going to do it for Dogmeat in EDH.